dito naman tayo kay Duterte, kay Digong. Meron na namang interim release. Makakalaya na daw ang lolo ninyo. Nako. Alam niyo, sa totoo lang mga kababayan, nagsasawa na yung mga DDS sa inyo. Bago ko i-play ito mga kababayan. Bago ko i-play itong video na to, may mga sources tayo Ito UNTV na galing to. Sabi dito, makakalaya na daw si Digong. Gagawin daw ni Sara, ni Roque, ang lahat pati ng mga lawyer, gagamitin daw nila ang batas ng Netherlands para sa interim release at makauwi na si Duterte. Alam niyo mga kababayan, hindi ako maniniwala makauwi Nakaraan sabi interim release. Tapos sabi ninyo ni-read ang bahay. Ilang beses na ninyong inuuto yung mga DDS, walang nangyari. Di ba? Oo. So ito na mga kababayan, interim release daw ni Digong. Ito galing sa UNTV ito hindi tayo fake news. Chinese lang yung ad.
Habang nananatili si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte sa International Criminal Court o ICC Detention Facility, patuloy ang kanyang kampo sa pagtatrabaho upang mapadali ang paglaya nito. Ayon kay Vice President Sara Duterte, ngayon ay plano nilang tingnan ang posibilidad na mapalaya ang dating Pangulo sa ilalim ng batas ng The Netherlands para sa agarang pagpapabalik sa kanya sa Pilipinas.
Ngayon ay merong provision sa Rome Statute, yung interim release na tinatrabaho din. And then one of the discussions as well was your suggestions, folks, to go through the Dutch laws. Which he said, okay, you explore that. And then sabi ko, I can do that while I'm back in the Philippines na online na lang yung pag-aasikaso.
So, si Harry Roque ang kasama ni Sara doon. Na ang sabi, interim release daw. At si Roque ang nag-advise kay Sara na ganun daw ang gagawin. May mga paraan daw para makauwi si Digong kasi gagamitin daw nila ang batas ng Netherlands. Ang tanong mga kababayan, maaari bang gamitin ng kampo ni Duterte ang Dutch law or batas ng Netherlands? Hindi naman Netherlands citizen si Digong. Kasi according kay Harry Roque, mga kababayan, kung napanood ninyo, sana mahanap natin, ang sabi ni Harry Roque, marami daw na mga nakakulong doon sa ICC na kasing edad ni Digong, pinapauwi daw. Yeah? Mga kababayan, lagi kong iparating sa inyo, iwasan natin ang fake news. Yung pinapakalat ni Harry Roque na yung mga nakakulong daw doon sa ICC na kasing edad ni Digong na 80 years old, pinapakawalan daw at pinapauwi daw ng ICC. Hindi po yan totoo. Bakit? According kay Cristina Conte, Attorney Cristina Conte, isa sa mga lawyer ng mga EJK victims, sa extrajudicial killings ni Digong, marami daw nakakulong doon na kasing edad ni Digong at hindi naman daw pinapauwi. Ito Attorney Conte. Yan, maraming nakakulong sing edad. Edad ni Duterte. Ito mga kababayan,
gawin natin ay tanggalan ng buwis. Ayan guys, ito yung
Aling Sheila has been used by the
lahat po yun ay pagpapanggap lang.
supporters are spamming the ICC judges, They are apparently attacking the websites. How does this affect Duterte's case? Well, one, it tells the ICC we need to take jurisdiction, we need to take cognizance of this case because if we throw back this case to the Philippines, magkakagulo. Two, I think it weighs against the grant of an interim release, precisely in the same manner. He would ask to go back to the Philippines, mahirap yan. Third, conviction. Because Duterte precisely laid out this plan of vilification, of othering. Ang mga adik, deserve naman niyang mamatay. The ICC supporters are
So, yun pa nga lang sa pambababoy ng mga supporter ni Digong, mahihirapan siya sa interim release. At paano nga ba katotoo, mga kababayan, na makakauwi si Digong kasi matanda na? Ayan, ito makakauwi si Duterte kasi matanda na. Hanapin natin, basta nagsalita si Attorney Conte dito.
The three judges. Guys! We got some breaking news. Rewind lang ng...
Attorney Conte. Alam niyo, sa totoo lang mga kababayan, alam ko napapanood
They will
ninyo
be
yan.
arguing their case for jurisdiction, extrajudicial rendition daw. Yung pagkakabigay ng gobyerno natin to the Hague ng person of former President Duterte. What do you think of that argument?
So one, before the court, that's a non-issue. They already have jurisdiction over the person. And whatever the arresting state or the custodial state did not do or did, wala siyang magagawa.
May mga gagawa pa ba yung Supreme Court natin? Kasi there are several petitions before the Supreme Court. Kahit pwede pa bang makompel ng Supreme Court yung gobyerno natin to ask the ICC, pakibalik nga yung aming pinadala dyan sa inyo.
No, highly unlikely.
Wala. Rinig nyo? Ito.
Before the Supreme Court. Kahit pwede pa bang makompel ng Supreme Court yung gobyerno natin to ask the ICC, pakibalik nga yung aming pinadala dyan sa inyo.
No, highly unlikely.
No. So, sinong papaniwalaan natin? Si Harry Roque na pugante o si Attorney Conte na lawyer din sa ICC? Mismong si Attorney Conte na nagsabi na no, hindi na mapabalik. Maskin isang tinga ng gobyerno ng Pilipinas or lawyer or Supreme Court sabihing ibalik ninyo si Duterte sa Pilipinas, wala ng rights. Kasi una, ganito yan mga kababayan, explain ko sa inyo. Actually, in-explain na yan ni Attorney Claire Castro. Ganito yan. Halimbawa, magkaroon ng interim release si Digong. Una, kapag nakauwi si Digong sa Pilipinas, kailangan kausapin ng ICC si Pangulong Bongbong Marcos. Mismo ang presidente ng Pilipinas. Ito actually, not only Attorney Claire Castro, but also spokesperson ng ICC, si Dr. Fahad ba yun? Hindi. Ad Fahad. Ito Maris Umali. Ito ICC spokesperson. Para maano ninyo mga kababayan, ipaparinig ko sa inyo yung usapan.
Mga kapuso, ikaapat ko na mo. Wala!
Ni Maris Umali.
VP! Mga kapuso, todo deny si Marisa. Ngayon gusto nila.
Rigo do.
Ang inaasahan sa amin
Sa isang live ng isa
to deliver a clear
Former President Duterte's camp claims he was illegally arrested in the Philippines and brought to the ICC in the Netherlands, which they argue has no jurisdiction over the Philippines since we have already withdrawn from the Rome Statute. What is the ICC's response to this?
I think that there are two different questions here. One is the issue of the arrest, and if there are requests regarding the lawfulness of the arrest itself, it can be presented to the judges who will decide on it. Second question is the question of jurisdiction of the ICC over crimes allegedly committed in Philippines before its withdrawal from the Rome Statute. And that's something on which the ICC has already been clear, whether it's in regard to Philippines or Burundi, which is another state that also withdrew from the ICC Rome Statute. So the court's jurisprudence has already indicated that the ICC retains jurisdiction even after the withdrawal of a state, but only for the crimes that are allegedly were committed during the period when the state was a state party to the ICC Rome Statute. So for the Philippines, I think from 2011 or 2012 until 2019, this is the period in which Philippines was a state party. So crimes allegedly committed during this period in Philippines were under the ICC jurisdiction and remain under the ICC jurisdiction. The withdrawal does not affect these obligations and this jurisdiction of the ICC. It only affects the future. So after the withdrawal become effective, if new crimes are committed, then they will not fall under the ICC jurisdiction. But the jurisdiction was already there during the period when the Philippines were a state party, or Burundi, which is the other example, and then the exercise of the jurisdiction can be after the withdrawal. There is no problem in that. But the application of the law on international treaties means that this jurisdiction was already existing, and thus the ICC can retain it.
After the arrest of the former President Duterte, was it necessary for the Interpol and the Philippine authorities to bring Duterte first to a local court in the Philippines before bringing him here in The Hague?
Well, this is a matter that depends on each state internal laws. So, in general theory, there is a process when a person is arrested in a certain country before he is surrendered to the ICC. But these processes can be very different from one state to another, and I'm no expert in the Philippines laws. So this is a matter of internal law on which I cannot actually decide. As I mentioned, the legal process before surrendering a suspect to the ICC can vary from one country to another.
But as far as you are concerned, there is nothing illegal in terms of his arrest.
I can simply say if there is any challenge to the lawfulness and legality of the arrest, it can be submitted to the judges, and then judges will decide on that. I will not speculate on a possible request and what might be the outcome for this request.
It is up to the judges
to decide
on it. What is the ICC's reaction to the Interpol's implementation of the arrest warrant against Duterte? And how would you describe the process of serving the diffusion notice by the Interpol and the Philippine government?
I think that the important thing to remember is the idea that there are international accountability mechanisms in order to ensure that when there is an arrest warrant, that the states cooperate with the court. Interpol is one of the channels to help with these mechanisms. And as we...
narinig nyo mga kababayan, itagalog ko kasi may mga DDS na nood, hindi naintindihan. Ganito yan. Ang sabi ni spokesperson na si Abdallah, Dr. Abdallah, ang sabi niya, noong panahon na i-final ang kaso ni Trillanes sa ICC, miyembro pa ang Pilipinas sa ICC. Ngayon, tinanggal ni Digong noong 2019 ang Pilipinas bilang miyembro ng ICC, so wala ng jurisdiction ng ICC doon. Ngunit, habang ito'y i-final ni Trillanes ng 2017, nakaprocess na to hanggang 2018. So ngayon, pagdating ng 2019, tapos na ang kaso. Na-process na sabi na nila na guilty si Digong, no? Sa crimes against humanity. So ngayon, nasabing guilty, nag-antay na lang sila ng warrant. Ngayon, ang mangyari, hindi sana mahuhuli si Digong kahit may warrant kung tinanggal ni Digong ang Pilipinas bilang miyembro ng Interpol. So ang sabi nga dito ni Maris Umali, anong masasabi mo sa Interpol na tumulong mag-aresto kay Duterte? Ang sabi naman dito ni Abdallah, na spokesperson ng ICC, ang Interpol po ang kaisa-isahang international channel na kahit saang bansa, sila po talaga yung huhuli. Sila yung pulis pangkalawakan. Meron tayong pulis patula sa Pilipinas, meron din tayong pulis pangkalawakan. Yun yung universal. Kaya nga tinatawag na Interpol eh. Yun yung naghuli kay Tebes at kay Alice Go. At sa sunod naman kay Harry Roque. Ang problema lang kay Digong, gagawa ng karumal-dumal na kabulastugan, tinanggal niya ang Pilipinas bilang miyembro ng ICC kasi alam niya na makakasuhan siya at alam niya, doon pa nga lang guilty na siya. Bakit? Kung hindi siya guilty, bakit niya tinanggal ang Pilipinas pagiging miyembro ng ICC? Kasi nga alam niya na ang ICC gagawa ng hakbang at labag ito sa Rome Statute ang pumatay ka na walang due process. At okay lang kung pumatay ka ng 100, libo-libo po ang namatay. At ayon po sa article, no, sa batas ng ICC, kapag ikaw ay pumatay ng more than 100 to 1,000, yan po ay tinatawag na crimes against humanity. Nasa batas po kasi nila yan. No? At sinabi pa ng ICC na kahit ikaw ay head of states, si presidente ka, senador ka, congressman ka sa isang bansa, nire-reject nila ang immunity. Wala silang immunity sa kulungan. Patas ang lahat. Diya? So ngayon, ang tanong, Kent, di ba tinanggal na ni Digong ang ICC sa pagiging, ang Pilipinas sa pagiging miyembro ng ICC? Yes, tinanggal. Pero ang problema, tapos nang i-process bago niya tinanggal. At ang sabi pa nga dito ni spokesperson Abdallah, na ang process ng ICC, kahit pinutol mo ng ugnayan dyan, walang katapusan yan. Infinity yan. Tuloy-tuloy yan. Walang katapusang process. Yun ang sabi. So ano, mga DDS, naintindihan nyo na? Baka hindi nyo pa naintindihan, hanapin nyo na lang yung buo na interview ni Maris Umali. Ha? Wag na lang sa akin kasi alam ko.
Question. Former President Duterte's camp claims he was illegally arrested and brought to the ICC in the Netherlands, which they argue has no jurisdiction over the Philippines since we have already withdrawn from the Rome Statute. What is the ICC's response to this?
I think that there are two different questions here. One is